Why are there 30,000-year-old stone tools in Mexico, when genetic evidence strongly suggests humans first arrived in America 15,000 years ago? Of around 2,000 stone tools recovered in the cave, 239 have been dated to between 25,000 and 32,000 years old. Even if we take the youngest date in this range, 25,000 years, this would significantly push back the arrival of humans that was previously believed to be around 15,000 years ago. Moreover, this was published in the highly distinguished journal Nature, so although there might be issues regarding dating, which can actually be really tricky, it's not some pseudoscience archaeologists that are claiming this. So what? You may be asking, our previous theory was wrong. Well, no. You see, the arrival of humans around 15,000 to 16,000 years ago is supported by a mountain of evidence. This includes physical evidence such as tools and human bones suddenly appearing in the fossil record around this time, the existence of the Bering Land Bridge that would have allowed humans to travel to America from Asia/Siberia, and very compelling genetic evidence. I will focus on the genetic evidence here because it might just be that we haven't discovered earlier tools/fossils yet by purely bad luck. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, and all that. The problem is that genetic studies of Native Americans from across both North and South America show that they shared a last common ancestor around 15,700 years ago. Interestingly, genetic analysis of pre-colonial Native American dogs reinforce this, showing that populations of Native American dogs shared a common ancestor around 15,000 years ago. So, both human and canine genetics are in agreement as to the implied arrival of present-day Native Americans. Therefore, if the tools in Mexico are correctly dated, this would imply that present-day Native Americans completely replaced the prior human population without any admixture/breeding. Therefore, if the dating of these tools is correct, it raises two interesting questions. 1. Who were these people? Why did they not leave behind any genetic footprint via admixture with later arrivals? 2. Could they be a species of archaic human? The Bering Land Bridge existed between 70,000 to 60,000 years ago, so that it is not unreasonable for an archaic species of human to arrive prior to modern humans. Susan Powell's parents awarded 98M from WA State. Susan Cox Powell, October 16, 1981, c. December 6, 2009, is an American missing person from West Valley City, Utah whose disappearance and presumed murder, as well as the subsequent investigation and events, garnered significant media attention. Her husband, Joshua Powell, was named a person of interest in the investigation into her disappearance but was never charged. On February 5, 2012, Joshua killed himself and their two young sons, Charles Joshua, B. January 19, 2005, and Braden Timothy, B. January 2, 2007, in a murder-suicide after custody of the boys had been awarded to Susan's parents, Charles and Judy Cox. On May 21, 2013, West Valley City Police closed their active investigation into Susan's disappearance, stating that they believed Joshua murdered her and that his brother, Michael, had assisted him in concealing her body. 1. Since then, there have been repeated attempts to have Susan legally declared dead. 2. Lead Zehua, kidnapped by the government? During the start of 2020 when COVID-19 was in its early stages and mainly focused around Wuhan, China, there had been a string of disappearances in the area, normally consisting of journalists, and those who were talking extensively about it through social media. The one that stood out to a lot of people were two men named Chen Chushur and Li Zehua. Both men were reporting a lot on the developing updates of the virus and how it was affecting the surrounding area and were bringing up things the media weren't seeming to talk about. Normally involving why the government were hiding numbers, lying about people being sick and vice versa and improperly handling the entire thing. Chen went missing in early February of 2020 without saying a word to anybody and he still as of today August 1, 2020 is still missing and nobody has heard a word from him. The government are saying they do not know where he is, and any and all people in his field have somewhat backed away from the entire thing. Many people know that China very much control their population and talking against them there is normally punished. It's been a thing for a very long time, long before COVID ever started. The other man Li Zehua went to Wuhan, actually sneaking in to try to find Chen or anything that could lead to new information on him or at the very least, his well-being. Yet, as Li began to search and showed more of the world what was going on in Wuhan, he himself began being followed by authorities until he eventually got arrested and was silent for over 2 months. After he returned out of basically nowhere and uploaded one video to his YouTube channel talking about what happened to him and how he was quarantined by the government even though the entire time he was in Wuhan, he had been taking the proper steps in ensuring he didn't get sick. But the strange thing is that when he returned and uploaded his video he was completely different. Everything he had been saying about the government and what he felt was happening was gone, and instead he was praising China for helping him when he was confused and scared. Since that video, his YouTube and Twitter account has had no activity and he's essentially either gone into hiding or he was forced to stay away from social media. Either way, it got a lot of people talking about what happened to Lee in those 2 months, and still no word has been said on the whereabouts of Chen, nor several others that seem to be involved in trying to expose the truth of what's going on in China. I have a few articles linked below if you're curious to read, because honestly I feel there's more going on here than meets the